If you are a skinny guy trying to build muscle, stop bulking. Here's why. When I was 17 years old, I was really skinny and I overall wanted to just get in the gym and look better. I wanted to put on as much muscle as possible, okay? Out of every video that I watched online, every form, and even my fucking strength training teacher in high school, he told me that I have to eat as much food as I possibly can and just hope and pray that the scale is going up as fast as possible. Basically, if the scale is going up as fast as possible, the more muscle you're gonna gain. That's what I learned. For the first 5 months of me doing this, let me tell you this, I gained a lot of weight. I did put on more muscle, but I didn't look any fucking better. And let me tell you why. When you are stuffing food into your mouth and you are seeing that scale go up, you are putting on more fat than you are muscle. So when I looked at myself in the mirror and I compared the before and after pictures, I looked fatter. Like, yeah, my body looked bigger, but I looked fatter. And if you're just like me, you and I want to gain as much muscle as possible to look our best, to look like attractive, to look our overall look the way we want to. So when I saw that I just got a little fatter, I wasn't that happy. I wasn't that happy for my performance. And then I have to cut all that fucking fat off just to review the little muscle that I gained just because I packed on more fat than I did muscle. Now, let me tell you something now. So a few years later, now that I'm like deep into fitness and now that I've studied it and now that I've experimented every way, stop bulking. The one way that worked extremely well for me and works well for a lot of other people that I've helped is lean gain instead. What does that mean? Instead of you hoping and praying that scale is going up every single day or every single week, you just want to see that scale go up a little bit every week. By a little bit, I mean 0.2 to half a pound a week. For some of you, you may be thinking that's not enough. Like, if that number isn't going up, then I'm not gaining muscle, and that's totally false. Because let me tell you this, there's only a certain threshold of muscle you can put on per week, okay? So once you hit that threshold, any more food that you eat is just gonna pile on more fat. And research shows that the basic threshold to put on the most amount of muscle is eating 5% to 10% more calories than you're burning every day. That is it. Any more than that, you're just gonna be piling on more fat, all right? So, let me tell you some pros about this, about lean gaining. One, if you lean gain, you're gonna look fucking good year round. You're gonna be putting on as much muscle while minimizing how much fat you gain. And if the leaner you are, the better you look. That is the rule in life. The leaner you are, the better that you're going to look, okay? Another thing is, if you're lean gaining, you can bulk for longer periods of time and your cutting process doesn't have to be as long. Let me give you an example. Let's take two guys. One guy's they're both at 12% body fat. One lean gains for 5 months and the other one just eats as much fucking food as for 5 months. The guy that lean gains for 5 months, his body fat level is most likely going to be around like 13.5, maybe to 14%, okay, if he does it properly. While the other guy that just puts on fucking food in his mouth for 5 months, his body fat will probably be around fucking 17 to 18% just because he just focused on eating as much food. Now, who is going to have to cut longer? The second guy or the first guy? The second guy. So he has to cut for longer, and he didn't even put on as much muscle as he thinks he did because he was gaining more fat in the process, while the first guy put on as much muscle as possible while minimizing how much fat he was actually gaining. Therefore, he doesn't even have to cut as long to start lean gaining again. This is the true principle that works the best. When you're lean gaining, you don't have to eat as much food as you think you do. You're not really focusing about that scale going up as fast as possible. You're just focused on getting as much muscle while minimizing how much fat you gain. So fuck the scale, look at the mirror instead. Pay attention to what the mirror is telling you. And like every 2 weeks, take a progress picture and notice that you're gonna be looking just overall more muscular and with less fat, and when you're doing this properly, okay? So how do you actually lean gain? So this is what I want you to do. You are gonna be eating 5 to 10% more calories than you burn every single day, okay? So to get that number, I want you to multiply your body weight by 16 to 18. Choose the lower end, multiply your body weight by 16 if you are working out like 3 days a week, okay? If you're strength training 3 days a week. Multiply your body weight by 17 and 18 if you work out 4 to 5 days per week, okay? Now, Whatever number that calculator gives you, you are going to eat that every single day for 2 weeks, and I want you to monitor your weight every week. If you are gaining around 0.2 to 0.5, if you're gaining around 0.2 to 0.5 per week in the scale, then you're doing it right. You're in the sweet spot for lean gaining, okay? If you're gaining any more than that, like a pound or 2 pounds, then I want you to cut that number to 100 calories, okay? And eat that number for 2 weeks. And the first week can be sometimes off. Like there's water, there's like glycogen levels. So that's why I say do for 2 weeks and see how your body responds, okay? Now, for the flip side, if you're eating that number and you're not gaining any weight at all, then I want you to add 100 calories to that number and eat that new number for 2 weeks. When you keep doing this process, you're eventually gonna hit that sweet spot and you'll be having that formula just so overall, you're eating that number to gain at the amount of weight you need to gain to pack on as much muscle while minimizing how much fat you're actually gaining, okay? This is the process that worked really well for me. I still do it today, okay? And when you're lean gaining, again, you're staying lean, you're looking your best, you're gaining as much muscle as possible while minimizing how much fat you're actually gaining. And let me tell you a quick story about my recent experience in the gym that will help you kind of solidify this, okay? So a week ago, there was a kid that goes to my gym and he asked me to help him spot him for the bench press. So I didn't mind, I was helping him. And then we had a conversation about like my nutrition and overall like what workouts I do and just talking in general. Then during the conversation, he asked me how much I weigh. And I told him I weigh 145 pounds right now and I'm 5'7". So he looked at me like he had this weird look. He was like, what? Like, you're fucking crazy. There's no fucking way you weigh 145 pounds. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what's the problem with that? He goes, dude, you look like you weigh like 160. He goes, like, you're lifting double this and you're in like, there's no fucking way you're 145. And I'm like, dude, yeah, it's just, and I told him this phenomenon, like, stop worrying about the number on the scale. Like, focus on putting as much muscle on your fucking frame and being lean year round. That is all that matters. That's all that matters. And he also thought that you have to eat a ton of food to gain as much weight as possible, to pack on as much muscle as possible. And once I shifted that paradigm for him, he was like, it looked like his mind was blown, like a whole like reality shift happened. So this is what I mean. This is what inspired me to make this video. Stop worrying about gaining a ton of weight on that scale. Focus more about you just packing on as much muscle while lean gaining and staying lean year round. That is all you have to do. And you are good. And if you're skinny and you're focusing on this, watch how much better you look in 3, 6 months to a year doing this principle than you would just stuffing that bullshit food, seeing that scale go up. I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions, just put in the comments. I'll answer it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.